Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another episode of InventHER Live. I am your host, Marcy McKenna, and I also happen to be an inventor. And I'm the founder of the Women Inventors Club. And I bring that up only because both of my guests tonight happen to be members of the Women Inventors Club. And I'm very proud of all of these 600 women inside of this club. But these two, I was really excited to have on. I love both of them as human beings and just individuals. But the products that these two have created are so clever, so smart, so useful, such problem solvers. And I thought they're just perfect to have on this show, not only because everybody should have both of these products in their arsenal, but because of their journeys, because of the obstacles that they've faced in getting their products to market. So both of them now have their products on the market, and obviously you can buy them here on market.live. So anyway, there's just so much to unpack. There always is. I never have enough time. I feel like I have so many questions for these inventors. It's just so much fun. And I want to thank all of you for being here and for watching and for helping this show to grow. Because what started out really as just the goal was to just do it during Women Inventors Month, which is right now here in February. But we're getting such great response from all of you. It seems like everyone's really loving it. So we are going to continue on. And I would love in the chat, if you guys agree with that, if you're enjoying it, let me know. And I do want to bring up the chat because chats are what makes live shopping so much fun and so much different than anything else. So I really want to encourage you, if you have any questions, please chime in the chat. I know that our guests will love that. That just makes it all the more fun. But I also want to say that going live for people that haven't done it is really nerve-wracking. And so giving them virtual high fives and congratulating them for not only their products, but just being on and sharing their stories so openly and honestly is so appreciated. So I really want to encourage you to do that. I also want to tell you that both of my guests have agreed to do a giveaway. So this is our first giveaway on InventHER Live. So both of the products that you're seeing tonight will be given away at the end of the show. So in order to be eligible to win the giveaway, you do need to be a follower of the United Inventors Association storefront. And I am hosting this show in conjunction with the United Inventors Association. So depending on where you're watching this from, there's a follow button, I think, right up here. So hit the follow button so that you'll be eligible not only for tonight's giveaways, but every time we do a giveaway, you do have to be a follower of the storefront. So not only will you be eligible for that, but every time we go live with a new show, you will be notified that we're going live and you can either watch it or not, but at least you'll know about it. So I really want to encourage that. And then I do want you to pay attention throughout the whole show, because at the end, I'm going to ask two questions, one about my first guest and her product and one about my second guest and her product. So the person who gets the answer right first and who is also a follower of the show will win. Okay, so we've got two different giveaways going on. So pay attention, stick with us to the end. And without any further ado, we've got lots of people jumping on already and saying, hi, hello, Bonnie, another member of the Women Inventors Club. And we have Lauren and Candy, another one, and Cherie. You guys, thank you for being here and supporting. You're in for a treat. I spent hours today on the phone with these two because I had so much fun and we had so much to talk about. I love talking shop with my fellow female inventors. So let's start that right now. My very first guest on the show tonight is from right here where I am in Southern California. Her name is Leanna Gant. For those of you who don't know her, are not familiar with her product, you might be living under a rock, because she is getting so much notoriety for her product because it's so clever, so smart. In fact, I think it was yesterday morning, she was featured on CBS Morning New York's, I always forget exactly what the name, but she did a phenomenal job, not only talking about her product, but also giving advice to inventors, which I loved. I enjoyed watching it so much. So without any further ado, let's meet Leanna Gant, the creator of TookTake. Hello, Leanna.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I think we should start off by having you introduce your product and tell us what it is and how it works and why it's becoming so popular.
Yep, my product's called TookTake, and this is TookTake labels. And TookTake, they're dosage reminder labels, and basically you get 4 in every pack, so they look like this, and you just pull the label off the backing and then stick it onto whatever you need to use or take. And then when you take your dose for the day, you just pull the tab off and you know if you took it or still need to take it. We have 4 different varieties and it's super simple. That's all there is to it.
And you know what? Sometimes it's the simplest inventions that do the best, first of all, because it's just a simple solution to an everyday problem that we all have. And when I saw it, I right away reached out to you because I can relate to this problem so much on so many different levels, because I have a son who does take a lot of different kinds of medications in different times of day. And I find that within our family, we're always asking each other, did Colin get his medicine? What time did he take it? Because there's always timing to it. And I kind of looked at TookTake as like a communication tool almost, that for our family, we could, if I give Colin his medicine, I just peel the sticker off and everybody knows Colin has had his medicine. And not only they know he had it, they know exactly what time he took it at. So if you are someone that deals with medication on any level, or maybe like shared duties, you know, whether you have a caregiver coming in for a parent or whatever it is, and there does need to be that communication, this is absolutely brilliant and solves it in such an easy way. So congratulations on a clever idea. And I want to say, Leanna is a breast cancer survivor, and I knew that she had breast cancer, and I knew that this product was born out of that, and out of her frustration and sort of the brain fog that I can imagine happens when you're going through all of that and not remembering, did she take her medication or did she not, and when did she take it, and all of that. Do you want to share that a little bit more? When that aha moment happened for you?
Yeah, when I was in treatment, especially during the chemotherapy part, I had so many different medications. And the other part was they were all in different forms. A lot of them were liquids or creams or different things to manage the side effects. Yep. And so they didn't work in a pill box, even if a pill box had worked for me, which it didn't, because everything was on different schedules. And I really wanted to keep everything in its original package. So I had the directions, because before this, wasn't a person who used a lot of medications. So I really wanted to read everything. I didn't really know how these things worked sometimes. So that's how I came up with it. I just started making labels so that it could take some stress out of the day for me. And also my husband and my daughter, who'd worry when they didn't know if I took something or if I needed something or if I could take it again if I was uncomfortable. If we didn't have it marked down, I'd have to wait longer. So that's really how it came about.
And I can relate again on so many levels, because I also have a mom whose memory is not so great right now. And so we're dealing with a little bit of dementia and lots of medications. And we're always trying to come up with different solutions. And like you said, when you were going through this, it was all about the sticky notes and having sticky notes all over the place to communicate it. And with my mom, she has a big mirror in her kitchen, and I write a whole checklist on the mirror and I have her check it, but that's not working. And when she saw TookTake, she said, that will work for me. And the reason why she said, I wanted to let you know this too, Leanna, is what she really appreciates about it is that you have to physically remove it. That it just seems like there's something from that dexterity that I think you called it friction, which I think makes a lot of sense. That the act of doing that is so much more impactful than just a check mark or whatever your system might be.
We've had a few people who are psychologists. This isn't like, we didn't test it, but they said that part of just the tactile part of pulling off the label creates enough friction that it registers in another part of your brain that you've had this second action. So I don't know exactly how that works, but we've been told that that's part of the reason that the labels work well at just reinforcing. And most people don't have to look back and see if they took it, because they do know they did. But if you do need to look and see, did I take this or do I still need to take it? It's right there on the bottle. So it's really easy. You're not looking at your phone or an app or trying to find a chart or.
Yes. And I do think when you were saying that about the act of taking it off, that it does something different in the brain. It kind of reminds me of using a pencil on paper versus typing it in your phone or on a computer. You learn so much more in a different way, I think, when you use a pencil on paper. So I kind of equate it to that.
Exactly.
But you guys, I should have started this by saying she is having so much success with this. She, in a very short period of time, she is now in CVS, Walmart, on Amazon. She just had her first airing on HSN. She's literally selling, and I'm forgetting other ones, Cardinal Health, her own website. She's selling hundreds of thousands of Tuk Take. And I'm so proud of what you've done, and that you had this problem when you were going through breast cancer. One thing we talked about today that I loved is that you said it sort of became a distraction for you and your husband during this difficult time. It became something fun to kind of work on together and figure out together.
Yeah. When I was in treatment, 'cause we're both designers, we kept playing with my little sticky notes, and then he'd sort of play with the design and I'd give feedback, and we'd cut them out and stick them on things. And at that time, I really liked the idea. I thought it was fun and that it would be useful, but really it just gave me something to look forward to at the end of the treatment, like a goal and something that I felt like I could look forward to in the future.
Yeah.
And when I got done, I wasn't sure 100% if I wanted to do it or not. But like I was telling you this morning, I think that then when I found I had one thing I had to take every day, and I was back to my sort of busy mom life, doing things and seeing friends and family, I couldn't remember. And this medication was supposed to be helping prevent my cancer from coming back. So the first few times when I forgot it, I'm like, what, how many times can I forget it and it not work?
Right.
So I took out my little labels again, and then I'm like, okay, no, these are really useful. I think they'll help a lot of people if we can get them out there.
I'll tell you, I wish they were out there when my mom, again, she went through a major back surgery. And as part of the recovery, she was on OxyContin. And 2 different times, she called me and said, oh my gosh, I think I took 2. And if you know anything about that medication, you know, it's extremely strong. And she's like, I'm not sure, but I have a feeling I might have accidentally taken it twice. And luckily she lived fairly close by where I could race and get down there as quick as possible. So we were fortunate, but at that time, I'm like, there's got to be a solution. What are we going to do about this? And so this would have solved everything. And so, gosh, I have a little message that just came up here. I'm going to delete that. There we go. And I got to look in the chat. You're getting so many amazing comments about what a brilliant idea it is. Shelley says she needs it for her parents and her family. I'm wondering if this Shelley that I know, is this Shelley Vercruz? Shelley? Because I could definitely see her needing that for her mom and her dad. Very much. And we have Ella loving it, and Bonnie loving it. Maggie, she loves the use of the friction, just on and on and on. It's so great. But one of the things I really appreciate about this show is the fact that it's not just touting how amazing your guys' products are, but it's learning from your journey. And nobody's journey in inventing. If you have an idea and you're thinking about bringing it to life, I guarantee you it's not going to be this rosy, straight path to success. It never is, and it's not overnight and all of that. Hate to break it to you. But what I love about this show is it can help make that path to success so much straighter and faster, because we can learn from each other and the mistakes that we made along the way. And Leanna and I were talking this morning about I said, what was your biggest blunder along the way? And I loved how openly she shared. And I think this is such a learning lesson for all of us. It's, we jump the gun sometimes on different steps when we're supposed to do them. We get so excited and we just think that there's a natural progression, and in our minds, this is what should come next. And so for Leanna, it was her packaging, that she was ready to get the packaging going and get it in front of retailers, get it in front of CVS. And I'm hoping, Leanna, that you brought your original packaging, because she made 10,000 of these original packages. She took them to CVS, and
they looked like this. They were
hold one really up close to the.
It's like a little cardboard piece that folds over, and then it had a staple at the top that holds like a little plastic bag that had the 4 labels in it.
And you did a great job. It looks great, but tell everybody what's wrong with it.
Well, first thing is, when you look at it, as much as I'd love to think everybody knows what this is for, you really have no idea what's for, because there's not anything else for reference out there. Right. So you look at this and have no idea what it is. It's also for retailers, this is not good, because when you ship it, it kind of goes like this, and the cardboard gets bent, and it's just too flimsy. I didn't have a hole for a peg hook, which I never really thought about where it would go. I just made it. And yeah, it just all around, they said it was going to get destroyed. People would tear them, that we'd end up with a lot of damaged product either being thrown out or coming back to us because it would never make it into the store. And then even if we did put a hole in this, they said it's going to rip. And when you see packages, they're all torn up. Nobody wants to buy them. So
but it's things that we don't think about unless you're a product to market, it would just never cross your mind that you need a hole and a staple's not okay and all of those things.
So we had an amazing buyer who went through and told me all the problems and said we had to put a picture of it in use on the front so people could tell what it is, that we needed a durable package, we needed a hole, we needed very clear instructions with pictures on the back of it. Just all of these things. And now it's pretty much indestructible. It ships really well. It's colorful. It pops off the little peg hook. But yeah, that was a big mistake because then we had hand packed all of these, me and my friend, and it took us forever.
Friend during these.
Yes, you need a best friend who will do this with you. And then we found out that these were not good, and we had to unpack 10,000 of them and then repack them like this, which I can't even imagine. Fun.
10,000, you guys, imagine. Oh my gosh. So I'm thinking that, Leanna, you probably just saved some people a lot of time and effort and money on all those things that happen when we make these kind of costly mistakes. And that's just packaging, but so many inventors, and me included, in the beginning, as I said, we think about so many people. I think the first thing anybody thinks about when they get a great idea is I need a patent. Get a patent attorney, race to do that. And it's not that you shouldn't get a patent ever. In some cases, it doesn't make sense. In some, it does. But doing it too soon, talk about a costly mistake. That's one thing that I always just caution people to put the brakes on, because first of all, you want to validate your product to know that somebody's actually going to purchase it before you do this. And I will tell you a true story. I have a very good friend of mine who came to me, and founder of the Women Inventors Club. She came for this advice and said, what should I do first? And I said, whatever you do, don't patent it. What does she do? Goes and gets a patent attorney, literally mortgaged her home to pay for this patent. And not only did she end up not moving forward with it, but when she was in the development process, it changed so much that the patent made 0 sense had she ended up moving forward, because the claims that she thought she was going to want to cover her, to protect her, were no longer even on the table. So that's just, a really something I just really want everybody to think about, all those steps, especially those costly, time-consuming steps, and when is the right time to do that. So thank you for sharing that. I do appreciate that. I want to talk about other uses for it too, because I have a dog, Coco, and we put the flea stuff on, and you have to do it every 6 months. Is it 6 months or every month? I can't even remember now. But same thing where I'm like, when did we give Coco? Because it really is important to stay on that schedule. And when I discover this, I'm like, that's the answer to my, now I get it. And it's not that I couldn't write it on the box or something, but you just don't. And when you start using Take, it just becomes, second nature, and it gives you this peace of mind and weight lifted in so many ways. And I love that. So bravo.
Yeah, we find a lot of people, like, at first they'll say like, oh, I don't think I need the other varieties, but sometimes they'll just order the 3-pack just so they could try them and they have them. And then they'll write to me and say, it's like, I wasn't sure what I was going to use them for. Now I put them on everything.
It's one of those products until you start using it. And not only medications and things, talk about some of the other things that you use it for.
Yeah, I think vitamins, I think my daughter's used them for when she first got her ears pierced. She put it on the ear cleaning stuff to make sure she was doing it every day, because it was just a temporary thing. Yep. She's used it for her contacts when she was first getting used to, having to clean those every day too, just to remember she did it. Yep. It's a reminder. Cold medicines, allergy medicines, Flonase, because it'll stick to anything. It's really great, because anything you need to keep track of, anything that's part of your wellness routine that you want to make sure that you're doing on a regular basis, all it does is tells you if you did it or still need to do it. So it's really helpful that way.
I have to ask you, because my mom, when she first saw it, she was thinking to herself, pondering something. I'm like, what is she thinking about? And she said, I just have one question. Why did she name it Took Take and not Take Took? So I said, well, I'll ask her. So now I need to know.
So you know if you took it or still need to take it. I think it just, even though it's sort of a made up word, it seemed easier to say took take than take took. But maybe it's just because I'm used to saying it now.
Well, either way, it's such a catchy name. You just don't forget it. And we talked today about patents and protection and all of those lovely things, and how many times it's the branding and a really great name that is way more protection than a patent could ever be. And a great example of that, and if you've heard me speak before, you've heard me use this example because I love it, and that is Sarah Blakely and Spanx. Because there is, I don't know, hundreds of different shapewear brands out there. And she's been knocked off umpteen million times probably. And she's never once taken any action to protect her patent. Why? She never needs to protect it, because she did such a great job with that clever name, and her branding is so much fun. And she's so fun, just branding herself, that no matter how good the next shapewear is, the majority of people want to buy Spanx because of that. And I think you've been really brilliant with that. So I applaud you for that, for sure. And not only, and I said to Leanna this morning, nobody can take your story away from you. And so if you're someone who's inventing a product, don't be afraid to put yourself out there and be vulnerable and tell your story of why you created it and what those challenges are, because that is something that nobody can take away from you. And if that resonates, if you connect with people on that level, then however many knockoffs might happen over here, nobody wants that. They want Leanna in this case. So I just wanted to hit on that because I do think that's really important. And many of us can't afford to file a patent. And even if we could afford to file a patent, if someone knocks us off, do we have $1 million+ to defend it? And that's something that you absolutely have to ask yourself before you take that step. And there's lots of different reasons for filing if you're wanting to license. And so it's, it's not a black or white answer, but it's something to consider. So I always like to bring that up because I do think it's the number one thing that we rush to do many times way too soon.
Definitely.
If at all. Yeah. I also want to talk about, she had this great opportunity, this brand new opportunity that came along just when she and I first met, actually. And when I saw it, if you know me, I have a product line on HSN, and I saw that Leanna was just recently on HSN. So I couldn't wait to watch it. And I did. And I reached out to her and said, if you ever need help within HSN, just let me know. And you tell Leanna how it went and where you are now with HSN. And then we'll kind of dig a little deeper on that.
I feel like it could have gone better. I think I didn't know a whole lot going in, and I made some choices that in hindsight probably weren't the best things for the brand. But I've talked with the people at HSN, have been lovely, and we're going to be back on in May, the beginning of May. I think it's the 3rd. And I think the main thing I learned from all of it is that I'm still the best person to talk about my brand and tell my story. And I can give someone the details and the specifics, but they haven't spent as much time with it. They don't really know my story. The things that resonate with them might not be the things that I feel are best to tell everybody. So I think that was a really good thing to learn. And I'm lucky that they're letting me do it again, and I'm going to go and be on the show. So I'm really excited about that.
So you're going to be flying all the way to Florida.
Yes. And
she's going to be on in May. I think you said May 3rd.
May 3rd is the last day.
Guys, please tune in and cheer her on and buy Took Take, because the Took Take that you buy tonight, I'm guessing you'll need a repeat by then. Looking into the chat. Okay. More. Thank you for inventing this. It's a lifesaver. Love this product. Oh, awesome. And so, yeah, I think the number one, when I watched it, it wasn't awful, but I did kind of walk on eggshells a little bit when I called you and said, how do you think it went?
Yeah.
Not great. And so I said, okay, so let's talk about it. And so we kind of, we dissected. And one other point that you brought up, which I think is a good one too, is that knowing who your audience is and tailoring whatever you're doing to your audience. And Leanna does know exactly who her audience is. And I think she was not thrilled with the placement of when her airing was, because it wasn't tailoring to her audience. So that's just a little side note that I want to say, but I could not agree more with you. There is nobody better to tell the story of your invention than you. And might you need a little training to get that sales pitch just perfect? And it doesn't have to be perfect at all, but just, maybe you're nervous and whatever it is, definitely take advantage of those opportunities if you have that. But you're the one that should be telling the story for sure.
Yeah, I could say I spent the first year or so with TikTok of doing everything I could to not be the face of my product, not be on camera, not be doing this.
A lot of us do, yes.
And I finally gave in, and things are so much easier and so much better. And I'm slowly getting more comfortable with it. But it really is the way to go. So for everyone out there who's like, I'd never want to do that, it really does help.
Yeah, and you're doing a great job of it. And with that, I want to thank you again for being here, because you are putting yourself out there and I love it. And you did it on CBS yesterday, and you're going to be amazing on HSN in May. And everybody that's watching is cheering you on. And I just have no doubt. I mean, you're already so successful, but there is no stopping you. You are doing this and it's just going to keep going. And I couldn't be happier for you. So thank you for being here. And everybody give a high five in the chat. Let her know if you like the product. Let her know how she did live on Market.live for the very first time. And we are going to get ready to bring in our second guest, who this is her first time, I think, doing this as well. She's actually a part of my Live Shopping Academy. And so I'm having so much fun getting to know her. She is, as I said before, she's a member of the Women Inventors Club. And I loved talking to her today because I didn't even know this, but she told me that she's been in the Women Inventors Club, which is, it's a community of 600 women, if you're not familiar with it, who have brilliant ideas, and they're just locking arms to bring those ideas to life and helping each other and sharing resources and tools and all those things. And it's just wonderful. And so if you are someone like that, it's free. I would love for you to join the Women Inventors Club, and you can get there via my website, marcymckenna.com, or just go to womeninventorsclub.com and you can apply to join. So with that, I would like to introduce my next guest, who she is an inventor, definitely, but she said to me today, and I thought it was great. She said, not all inventors are entrepreneurs. And when I think about that, it's so true. And I speak to a lot of inventor groups, and I know that that's something that comes up a lot. I will tell you that Daria Walsh, who I'm welcoming in just a second here, is an amazing inventor, but also an incredible entrepreneur. She is, I can't decide which one more, but I mean, she's the combination of both, and that is unstoppable. And when you meet her in 1 second, you're going to realize how unstoppable she is. Her product, again, it's called Infinity Clips, and she's going to tell you all about it. But she started off, as many of us do, completely bootstrapping. I think she had $500 left to do this. And she has grown her product from $500. She had her first 6-figure year this year. I'm so excited for you, Daria. So let's welcome Daria. And again, high fives in the chat. Let her know what you think. Daria Walsh, welcome to InventHER Live.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here. And your background, everything, because she's getting used to this live shopping thing, and here on Market.live. And so she's, I mean, I can't even tell you, it looks so professional and fabulous. So
well, thanks to you, because you've been teaching us how to do this. And it's scary for people to get on live. And here I am doing it. And so I'm learning as I go. It's exciting.
Well, and you're a good student. You're learning well. So let's learn about your product. I'm not even going to say what it is. You just go.
All right. So I invented a necklace shortener for thin chains. I'm actually wearing one right now. And basically what it is it allows you to adjust the length of any thin chain necklace to any length. So it matches any outfit, and you could wear it anywhere. So you don't have to buy new chains. You don't have to get it permanently shortened anymore, which could be really expensive. this allows you to just, adjust your favorite necklaces, expensive necklaces that you don't want to damage and ruin and shorten temporarily. And, it's functional, and it's also pretty, I think.
It's so pretty. I
Have
think
a little sparkle to the back. I actually have some, these are all the colors we offer. It comes in gold, silver, rose gold, and right now it has crystals, but I'm coming out with a line that our inventors group actually was helping me with today of, a simpler plain design, and then a men's line's coming out soon.
So great. And it really does. I mean, it's so pretty. It's like a piece of jewelry itself. I'm wearing one too. And I'm not just wearing it for the show to show you guys. I wear it every single day. When I discovered it, I was so excited because I am one that I love jewelry, and I have certain necklaces that I really love, but a necklace is a certain length. I mean, yes, it has a little bit of adjusting to it, but many times it's just not the length that I like, depending on what I'm wearing. So with this, now my necklace can be any length I want it to be. Where I was buying, some costume jewelry because I knew I had to buy, so I wanted to buy the 18-inch chain and then the 16-inch chain. But with infinity clips, this makes your necklace completely adjustable for whatever you're wearing. And then we all know right now the trend is, and not just right now, it's been a trend for a long time, so it may not even be a trend, but the layering. And I feel like this is a tool that just makes layering effortless and easy, and it looks so great. I mean, I think layering makes any outfit just that much more fashionable.
Yeah. And it's interesting, when I first started this, it was just really to shorten individual chains with pendants. And then, my customers were coming saying, I use this for layering. It's perfect because you could, shorten one so that it's perfectly stacked. And it just became one of the big features of it because it is on trend right now and people are using it for that. And, I think that's how an invention develops also. You find new uses for it. And, that was one of them there. People were using it for that. I'm like, oh, that's definitely something to add to the list of uses.
Of all the different, yes. And I'm going to show it up close. Just because it is so pretty. I think it's so delicate and dainty. And sometimes I even want to wear it in front because I hate that it's hiding back there because it's just so pretty. And I love the gold. I was asking, and this is one of the things I love about live shopping, you guys, is that you can talk to your customers and you can say, what do you like the gold? Are you more of a gold wearer, more of a silver wearer? What about rose gold? So I would love to see in the chat. I'm curious, is more of our audience gold, silver, or rose gold? I mean, everybody's different, but that's really helpful, I think, when you're an entrepreneur and inventor and trying to make buying decisions and knowing what kind of quantities to be able to come on Market Live and just ask. I mean, why not? It's great. And again, same thing. We've got everyone's coming in. Wow, you are a powerhouse. Agree, powerhouse. I'm going to get one of those for my aunt. Beautiful and functional. Going to get one for her nickname is Red Speed. Wow, that's a good one. And Madison says beautiful and functional, just so many compliments all the way around.
Thank
and
you.
So tell us about, because when we were talking this morning, I appreciate how open you were, and I hope you're okay with me being open with our audience, but you were at a place, as many of us are, I was too, when I first decided to take one of my bazillion inventions that I kept in a white binder for years and bring it to market, where, I was at a place where my husband's business industry went on strike and our bank account was doing this and there was no end in sight. And I was a stay-at-home mom at the time and I was panicked. And I thought, okay, I got to do this. I've got to dive in. And it seems like we're in a similar situation, not with a husband on strike, but you were living with your mom, right? After
I was starting my life over again. I had moved back with my mom and my 2 teenage daughters. And, we were living at my mom's house, and I was really focused on trying to rebuild my life and get a job. But this just hit me, while I was there. I remember sitting in one of her bedrooms at the time thinking, wow, I really could do this. So I tinkered with it. And it wasn't something that, you see in the movies where you're like, boom, big idea, and you run with it. And it's like, a success overnight. But it hit me then. It was and I felt like it was almost the universe saying, giving me nudges. I was just telling you this, giving me nudges to say, this is your purpose. This is your purpose. When I'm always asking, what am I doing with my life? What am I going to do with my life? And I've always had those little nudges along the way, the ideas that would come to me that I didn't follow through with. And then just one day I decided to go for it. And it wasn't until a little past that point where, you know, I had gotten another job and I was kind of on my feet. I was doing a sales job at the time, but I was, you know, I played with the idea for a couple of years before I went for it and actually decided to bring this to market and launch. But
What
yeah,
was it? What was it that made you say, I'm doing it? What was that for you? Like just,
you know, it was, I think all through the year, like I would see inventions that I had come up with, ideas that I've had come out to market, and people would make a lot of money off of it. And I'm like, oh, you know, I should have done it. I should have just followed through. I should have just done it. But life gets in the way sometimes. You're raising kids, you know, you're surviving. You're trying to just get by day by day. So things like that, you kind of push off to the side, and, you know, it becomes a one day thing. Well, my one day became today. And I was just like, that's it. That's it. I'm just going to take, and I chose this invention because I thought it was the simplest to bring to market.
mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert, there's no simple invention to bring to market. There's going to be challenges with every single invention. And I have a book of them, and I thought this would be easy, but there was a lot of challenges along the way, and there always will be challenges. You know, any entrepreneur will face a challenge when you're inventing.
Yeah.
It's a different set of challenges. And yeah, you just got to take them on one by one. Just keep going.
Exactly. And I do think if you're someone that's thinking of bringing a product to market, or maybe you're already halfway there, or maybe you're already there, there is so much value in connecting with other people who are on a similar journey. And I'm talking about the Women Inventors Club, but it could be any club, any organization, any way that you can connect and not be a just solopreneur, so to speak, because not only is it kind of a lonely path many times, but imagine how much time you can save by hearing what other people's mistakes are, just tapping into somebody else that has been on your path and just having that accountability. And so I started to say earlier on that you had shared with me that you'd been inside the Women Inventors Club for about a year. And I didn't know that because you were being silent, kind of behind the wall and just observing. And then all of a sudden, here comes Daria, and she's just chiming in, and she's just incredibly active inside the Women Inventors Club. And I love it because you're sharing so much with others. And I mean, doesn't it just change the whole journey when you have other people with you? Like you feel like you have a team, right?
100%. Because I am a solopreneur and I work from home, and sometimes I don't leave at all. And I'm just like so isolated, and to have some other women, and they are all amazing in that group. Like it's just such great energy, and it's so helpful that it just makes me feel like connected to people. You know, and I could bounce ideas off of them, and, you know, and we all help each other. And it's like, there's no competition. It's all, we're cheering each other on, and we all want each other to succeed. And that's just like the best environment to be in. So like definitely make connections like that, because it's so much easier. You know, it's so much easier. And, you know, I had to figure this out on my own, and there were people who helped me along the way. You know, I had like mentors from other groups and stuff. And I promised them, I said, well, you know, you're helping me, I'm going to help someone else one day. So I hope, you know, I hope to be able to give back also. As I learn, I'll teach, and, you know, we all do that for each other. And because there's not really a playbook for this. There's nothing, there's books, but, you know, every product is different, and everybody's journey is different. And some people do it overnight, and some people take years, and some people take 10 years, 20 years, you know, but
yep.
It's
and
interesting.
I want to thank you because you're giving back right this minute. I mean, you have a lot of people watching, and everything that you're sharing is so incredibly valuable. So thank you for being here. I want to go back to your prototype, like to the idea. So you wanted something that could adjust your chains, and then you started just tinkering. And I think today you told me you had 20 to 30 different prototypes.
Oh yeah. I tried everything because I really wanted to get it right. And, you know, there was nothing out there. There was no shorteners for thin chains. And I tell people what my invention is, and I think they're like, oh, you know, they just kind of shrug it off like, oh, it's a necklace shortener. But then when you realize that there actually doesn't exist a necklace shortener for thin chains, which is the reason that I put the time and effort into developing it, it was also hard to find the parts and to make it work and to figure it out. So yeah, I was in Michael's buying like craft items and jewelry findings and piecing things together, and, you know, finding cushions that work better, and, you know, claw clips. And I have a box of scraps still that I haven't thrown out, but it's just scraps. It's not even worth showing a prototype to.
I know I said that. I'm like, can you bring some of the prototypes?
You're
Like, you don't want to see them.
They're not, it's not something I'm proud of that I keep on my shelf. It's like hidden in the corner somewhere. Like,
no,
yeah,
I think your process has been so brilliant because, as we talked about in the beginning, so many of us jump to do things too quickly. And the fact that you were just down and dirty, just tinkering with things at Michael's or at your house and not going out and hiring an expensive $10,000, $20,000 prototype developer to create this. You don't want to do that until you know exactly what you're making and what's the mechanism to solve the problem, because you will waste so much time and money if you go directly to an engineer to do it for you. You've got to play with it yourself to make, prove to yourself that proof of concept. My first prototype, I hired someone at a local college in the woodworking shop. And I didn't even think that my product would be made out of wood in the end, but I was on a budget and I just thought, what's the least expensive way I can do this? And I found a great kid that helped me, and I paid him a little bit. I paid him a little bit more later, but getting resourceful like that, it's, and you also did your own provisional patent. And I share that experience because I loved how you felt like, I don't think you would do it any different, no matter how much money you had in the bank. Maybe
no, because, well, like, I told you, I started with $500. I didn't have a lot of money to start with. And patents could be really expensive. The whole process, people start out and they think, oh my gosh, how am I going to come up with $50,000 to get this invention out? And it doesn't have to be like that. You could start where you are, and we're inventors, we're resourceful. It's in our blood. We could figure it out. We just got to learn. We got to take the time to figure things out. And I guess the process might have been a little longer for me because of that. But it was really great because I learned so much. Just in writing a provisional patent, it really makes you hone in on the invention and what goes into the invention and really get a clear idea of everything about it to make it better and bring it out. And so, I did have a lawyer, and it was kind of like a Sarah Blakely type formula. I actually listened to her interview years ago when I first getting started. She's like, oh, she did her own provisional. I'm going to do my own provisional. And I had a lawyer kind of do the claims and, clean it up before the non-provisional went in. So I did spend money on that, but it wasn't until I filed the provisional, which is inexpensive to do. It gave me a year from the filing date to test market my idea, see if it had market potential, see if money could be made on it. I launched on Etsy, and it was so successful, it paid for the patent. So, sometimes you can do things slower if you don't have the money behind you. I'm glad I did it slow, because along the way, I was able to kind of tweak things. And, if I went to market too quick, it wasn't 100% great when I first went to market. There was issues that I had to improve upon. And it was great starting on a marketplace where I could talk to customers and say, hey, what do you think of this? We need to make it a little smaller. But and I improved upon it before I went to manufacturer, before I decide, okay, let's do the patent. Let's go all in. Let's, make this happen. So yes, I took a slow process. Yes, I had very little money to do it with. And I'm grateful for that, because I didn't get scammed by companies because I had money to be scammed. I had no money to be scammed with. So I couldn't kind of get lost along the way. I had to do it right. And it's been a great experience.
And you learn so much during that process, not even just, so when you do go to a patent attorney to get that utility patent, you know so much, the questions to ask, what claims you want to make rather than going in blind. I mean, you can save so much money just by taking that time up front to know what you're talking about when you go in, if you decide to get a full utility patent, which you did, and you got awarded that.
I got it last year. I'm really excited. March 2022. So now I have a full utility patent. I think it's important to bring a lawyer in certain stages. I definitely think it's important when you're filing a non-provisional patent. The provisional patent is just like a holding spot. It doesn't even, I don't even know if it gets reviewed. I'm not a lawyer.
They don't even open it. If it was an envelope back in the day when it was an actual envelope, it doesn't even get opened.
Yeah. So, but it was great because it was actually good. I did a good provisional. They didn't really change too much of it. They added to it. They did the claims, which is a whole patentese is a whole different world. You have to make sure certain things are right, but yeah, it definitely cut down on the cost completely. And
I
I've
want
had
to
great
mention,
lawyers. I've had fabulous lawyers. I had two of them so far. I love them both. They've been fabulous. I've just been lucky. I've been surrounded by great people. I feel blessed.
when you put it out there, it's amazing what happens.
Yes.
I do want to mention a resource for those of you who maybe are going to file your own patent or are thinking about it, because I do think this is a phenomenal resource, and it's called Patent Hacks. And it basically was created by patent examiners that were watching inventors come in and hiring these, the inventors were having to hire these fancy lawyers to get their patent approved. And the examiners felt like there's got to be a way to do this much less expensively and to learn in the process, to learn all about it. And so they created this platform that you can go on and you can learn the whole, they give you all the tools, all the resources, all the step-by-steps that you need to write your own patent, whether it's utility or design or provisional. Daria, I tend to agree with you. There's a point where you probably, and if this is all looking very promising, and if you're someone who might be wanting to license your product, there is a point where you probably should have a professional come in and do it. But learn, do as much as you can up front on your own, just for the learning lesson, everything that you can learn there, but also the time savings, the money savings, all of it. There's just a lot there. So I want to mention that. Candy chimed in with a great question. And she said, can we use this for glasses strings as well?
Eyeglass chains?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I should have said eyeglasses. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the necklace, it depends on the eyeglass chain, right? So I was actually looking at this recently to see, you can attach it to the eyeglass. Is she asking to shorten the necklace chain? You could shorten any necklace chain or any chain like this up to 2.5 millimeters thick. And, not many people actually know what that size is, but let me just give you a quick. So this is 1 millimeter. If you could see this.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys could wait. I'm over here. Okay, there we go. There. So that's 1 millimeter. And this is, these are 2 down here, or maybe 1.5.
Okay.
Thickness. So they're all thin. Some necklace, some eyeglass chains are thicker. So it depends on the thickness of it.
Okay. So I am getting a little bird in my ear saying that we do have to wrap up, which again, I could go on forever and ever, but I know that I promised you guys a giveaway. And so we are going to do that right now. And so remember, if you jumped on late, if you want to be eligible to win your choice of gold, silver, or rose gold, a set of Daria's infinity clips. And it does come with a set of 2, right, Daria? You get the large and the small.
Yeah. So here, this is an example of the set that you could buy right here on Market Live. So this is the set, it's the gold set, and it comes with a small size and a large size. The small fits chains up to 1.3 millimeters thick, and the large fits chains between 1.3 and 2.5 millimeters thick. So you'll have a set of 2, and you could choose the colors, silver, gold, or rose gold for the giveaway.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys a question. And again, you've got to be a follower. So click that follow button. And my question is, let me think what I want it to be. Okay. How much money did Daria have to launch her invention when she first started? Anybody? So put it in the chat if you know. And my producer, John, thank you, John, for doing this for us. He is going to let me know who the winner is. So again, click follow and then type into the chat if you know the answer to how much money Daria had when she started. Please put that in there. And then again, I have to say, she is all the way up to 6 figures this year and beyond. And she's on track, you guys, to double and triple in years to come. So it's very exciting. Okay, we have a winner. Drum roll, please. And I know this person very well, and I'm so happy she won. Bonnie, congratulations. Good job. So Bonnie, you have to let us know what color you want and then send me a direct message to let me know the shipping address, and we will get that taken care of. And then we have another giveaway. I want to invite Leanna to come back in. And so Leanna is giving away a set of 3. Am I right? No, 4. It's a 4-pack. All the different varieties that she has. And you guys, when you start using this, it's just going to be a way of life for you because it makes your life so much easier and gives you such peace of mind. So get in on this for sure. And again, you got to be a follower. And my question about Leanna is, who can remember what date Leanna is going to be on HSN next? Na, 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 na. And John, if nobody chimes in with the exact date, I'll take the month, even the month. Anybody? Okay. Come on, you guys. Were you paying attention? And while we're waiting for that, I just want to invite you guys to come back next week. Same time, same place, 4 o'clock West Coast, 7 o'clock East Coast here on Market.live. We're going to keep this going. I have so many amazing female inventors getting ready to come on, and I just can't wait to share all of their stories with you. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a hint because it looks like we're struggling a little bit. So HSN, gosh, it's not this month. Oh, wait, we have a winner. Carrie, congratulations. She got it right. So Carrie, congratulations, and thank you for paying attention. And if you could contact me via my website, marcymckenna.com, just click on contact and just let me know what your shipping address is. And Leanna will get that out to you right away. So thank you guys for being here, Leanna and Daria. Everybody give them a virtual high five and go out and buy their products because I use both of them all the time. I love them. You will too, I promise you. And I will see everybody next week at 4 o'clock West Coast, 7 o'clock East Coast back here on Market.live. Good night, everybody. Good job, ladies.